About time you woke. We have things to do.
So we are back from Entangled. I thought it was kind of an interesting experiment to do a quest all in one go with no commentary. And the next obvious follow-up is to go chase down the temple that corresponds to the artifact that we covered.
This is all exciting, but there's really a lot of pressure up there. We have to get...
So let's get that name into our G-I-I-B-U-U. But actually, I neglected to write down I believe that was anyway, we'll find out when we get there. Nebu 60.
Your hunt ends.
There goes their engines now.
Oh, we are unable to maneuver.
Return to the stars.
There goes their engine.
We've got some sort of weapon that keeps us from turning. It doesn't stop us from running away. I don't like fighting these guys.
It is over.
Target ship's engine seems to be having trouble. Too bad. So sad.
Wow. They do something to you that reduces your mobility. Saw how slowly I was turning there. Hold on. What's going on with our... We've got two separate... Oh, Ganibu 2 also has a... Oh. Well, let's do this one first. And note. So we have two temples. Interesting. I'm counting up the artifacts I've recovered. That's one more temple that I think exists. Oh, wait a minute. We have one more artifact that Constellation had when we started. That would be it.
All clear. Time to land this ship.
I'm beginning to wonder.
No indigenous life signs.
Captain,
One less
do
thing
you
to worry
require
about, I
my
suppose.
assistance?
I'm beginning to wonder if I shouldn't have invested in getting turrets going so I could shoot those starborn ships when they're keeping me from turning. Make sure everything is reloaded. which power do I have teed up? Since star stuff tells me where they are. Put up an anti-gravity field so I can kick him up. I noticed that my thingy there is saying 4 undiscovered temples. We've got a line on 2 of them. One of the reasons why I didn't do a voiceover on Entangled was I wanted to kind of immerse myself in it and see if I could solve it in a way that
Can you imagine how long
everybody lived. And I managed to do that. But if I'd been talking over it, I probably wouldn't have worked out in the end how to get both sides resolved like that. It also means that I neglected to write down which artifact we got. I'm pretty sure it was Tau. No, Tau was Kindi. So this, oh, Omicron. There we go. Okay, Omicron was the artifact we got on Piazzi 7A. Oh, right. Just, I'm sorry, I miscounted. So Godibu 2 has got to be the one we picked up on Freya 2. So, Temple Omicron. And the power is...
I like how they know we still know.
void form. And let's... Got him. Let's take a look at void form. Let's see. Toggle power names is on O or Q. Channel the darkness of space, rendering yourself nearly invisible to those around you. So this is what they've been using to disappear. But since star stuff was sensing them when they did this, I can move, and I can shoot. Oh, that's nice. And unfortunately, you have to wait for your stuff to recover. And let's go acquire the power on 2. I think if I jump out quickly enough, I won't have to actually fight them.
Starting landing procedure.
How can I be of service, Captain?
And this temple is this way. Might as well do a little scanning on the way. I know this doesn't really matter unless we come back to this planet and finish up. I'm wondering, maybe my strategy for this game should be to delay going NG Plus for as long as possible. Well, I really do want to get recordings. I do want to get recordings of all the quests and how they change when you're in NG Plus. Maybe what I'll do is I will split the playthrough. I can pull some fancy file management tricks to keep a version of the game going where I didn't jump through NG Plus and continue onward here without doing the NG Plus thing, separate from the playthrough where I go through NG Plus and kind of maximize everything. It really would be two different playthroughs at that point. Let's see, when you do a playthrough, when you do an NG Plus, you keep your skills. You keep the things you've learned. You lose your loot, your ships, your outposts. You keep your levels.
I would like to have seen the construction of this place. Tools and metals. There's so much that could be learned.
Perhaps once I figure out all of the things that I can do that carry over, I'll do the NG Plus when I've got all of that worked out. Obviously, I won't try to get all of the shooting. Andreja, did you find something to shoot at?
Are you prepared to die?
There. Are you happy now, Andreja? So,
Perhaps not the wisest decision.
anyway, so maybe the idea is to avoid NG Plussing until I have maximized everything that I can carry through to NG Plus, except maybe magazines and such. And then split it at that point. Take my mainline save where I didn't jump through the Unity and explore planets and do all the little fiddly missions, and then push NG Plus out just for looking at what changes in the longer main and side missions. Anyway, we've got a while to go. This is Temple Lambda. And yes, now I remember that's the one we picked up at Sheena? Research. So if I'm counting them up, this will be my 12th power. Let's actually count and make sure I've done this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This will be my 12th power. This says there are 3 temples out there that we haven't discovered. The way I look at it, This temple will be the last of the temples for the artifacts that I collected. We've already done one artifact I didn't collect. We've got room for another artifact I didn't collect, which Constellation had. We have a line on an artifact at the moon of Old Earth, so I'm not sure where the 3 undiscovered temples come from. In fact, I'm going to pause for a moment and Google that, because that has puzzled me for quite some time. I will be right back. So this turned out to be an easy thing to search. There appears to be a bug right now where on your first playthrough it will list 3 undiscovered temples regardless of the completion at the end game. Some artifacts only drop loot from spoiler. Okay? So it looks like potentially there's one from the hunter, one from the emissary, and another quest that produces one. For some reason, it does say 3 temples. And another response is, where do I find the last remaining temples? It says you don't, you got bugged. Yeah. Temple Lambda. And this power is ethereal something or other. Eternal harvest. Eternal harvest. What has blossomed will bloom once more. Okay, so this basically means that if you gather resources from plants and such around you, this will respawn. It's kind of useless. I'm going to use Void Form right now to avoid his attack, and then we'll start shooting. It might have been smarter. That worked out. It might have been smarter to save Void Form until I'm ready to reload. And there's something to shoot off that way. Packets of crap. I probably have to deal with that before I can if you got enemies handy, it doesn't let you fast travel. So I got pretty hurt during that fight. But we're going to check our affinity with Andreja real quick. So that's at 451. I wish I could check affinity with my companions without having them targeted like that. I'm going to write down that code, NPC_tick Asia. Ref 989. So there should be a way for me to put in a reference value. So at this point, according to my notes, Andreja is now going to be my top affinity. I'm going to start spreading things around a little bit. So we got Barrett and Sam Coe coming up. So question, do I bring them all up in parallel as much as I can, always going out with the guy that's lowest? Or do I want to pick one and take it out all the way until I get their affinity mission and then roll back to the next one? I may be running out of missions that I can do that get affinity with companions. It's not really clear to me. I'll have to research on that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go check affinity on Sam Coe and Barrett, and I will think about what I want to do for the balancing out the companions idea that I've got, whether I want to balance them out or maybe pick one and take it until I've done their loyalty mission.
Will we be taking off immediately, or are there other matters that require your attention?
We look here, under the main mission, we have gotten to the point now we're ready to go to the Nova Galactic Research Station and start tracking through that whole sequence. And that feels like another phase change, kind of the way we had the phase change when we did the mission with Walter, and suddenly we've got all these guys coming up. This feels like another big phase change. We haven't got any other main missions to go. I think I'm going to do, I'm going to grab Barrett and go for deep cover. Because that sounds like fun. And Barrett has a really good relationship with the Crimson Fleet. Andreja, I would take Andreja with me for Back to the Grind. Sam, we did a lot of stuff with. I'll have to finish up Sam's affinity with other miscellaneous missions. There's a number of these that are just continuing onward. Speak with Vivictus. He said that he had a bunch of other people he needed killed. This sounds like it's going to be talk to him, get a mission to go assassinate somebody, and so on. Sergeant Yumi's got a lot of local cruft to do. That might be a good one to do with Sam. We've got some resource things that we bought. We've got various distress calls and puttering around. We'll do the puttering about with Sam. But I think for now, what I'm going to do is go hit deep cover with Barrett. We have a skill point to spend. Can we put it in ship command? Yes, we can. Yay! So this now says to get more, to go to more people I can have on my ship, which is not really a priority for me. Destroy or board 5 ships with a crew of 2 or more. Okay. So we have to destroy or board. Okay, so it's just dogfighting in the real world might focus. This is not a priority for us. But getting it to 1 has been a priority. And this means that now I can assign Andreja to the ship. So if we mount some energy weapons, she'll help. But it also means that she's here on the ship, so I can always find her. And let's go find Barrett and Sam and pick up their affinity scores and write down their codes. Run. Does buddy here. Big old ship. A ship this size, you really need to have a crew.
It's good to be on the boat.
So, Samco, Affinity 515. Oh. Samco Ref 0029D488.
Lives get stuffy sometimes.
And Barrett. I like how the plushies just strew about. I'm going to pick up the power cells and scatter them around in an engineering space. And there's Mr. Barrett.
Yes? This is amazing. The unity, the multiverse. This is everything and more, literally.
He's excited. There's a lot to...
No kidding. Think of the dissertations. Boundless topics, no bounds. Except the books, they're bound. This explains so much, though. They're disorganized, petty, weird, and also deeply fascinating at the same time. Because they are just people. We never ruled that out, but it feels so good to know we weren't fighting against robot alien ghost gods or something. True. We need to approach this critically and carefully. We can't just jump in. Or, I mean, we could, I guess. But it all comes back to this. We don't know what will happen if you enter the Unity. You might lose yourself or become a two-headed space shark. There are too many variables. Yeah, even so, I don't see how we can't do this. I really don't see another option. Of course, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But I will say this. Our entire purpose in Constellation is to explore. Why would we stop now? I'm with you. I'm not gonna hold you back. But if you know, become evil or whatever, I'm also not gonna have your back. Anytime. The possibility of turning evil aside, I appreciate you taking the lead on this. You're guiding Constellation to new frontiers, new discoveries, and we should all follow your example. On that note, there's something else I'd like to discuss with you, if you have time. It's not on the scale of entering the Unity, but it is tangentially related.
Oh, really?
Thanks.
I was going to team up with him.
This has been swirling in my brain goo for a while now. So, I've been pondering over what's happened and what it all means. And I've got a favor to ask. A teensy-weensy favor. About the size of a plank length, really. I think it's time I joined you in the physics-bending powers business. See if one of those temples works for more than just you.
Okay, let's go get you a power.
Marvelous. I'm glad you're as gung-ho about this as I am. As it so happens, I've already talked to Vladimir. Seems our eye in the sky is back up and running. He sent me the coordinates for the temple already. We just have to visit.
So, let's see, Indum 3A. Let me write that down before I get to talking. And it goes away, Indum 3A. Not that it won't be there. So I was going to team up with him to get the affinity up. Apparently the affinity on my companions has gone up. So Barrett's at 405. These numbers are much higher than the last time I checked. Zero, zero, zero. 5, 7, 8. Yeah, Barrett's at 405, and he just gave me what looks like his loyalty mission. So there's a good chance that if I go talk to Sam Coe, he's going to want me to do his loyalty mission. Let's go do Barrett's thing first. But before we do Barrett's thing, I want to get some shut-eye. And this is a good spot to cut the recording, so I will see you in the next one. You go on off, and while you're waiting for the next recording, have a good time. Go have some fun.